Hey everyone, Luke here. Hope you're doing well. And today I wanted to introduce an investing video. Okay, so I will put the link down below. I decided to create I think it's about a half-hour long video, and it's basically just teaching people how to invest in gold, silver, and Bitcoin, and my current investing strategies that I use, and how I think that you should basically just protect your wealth in today's world. Okay, so the price point for this short video is $10 only. Okay, and like I said, I'll include a link down below. It's only $10, so I basically kind of go into a little bit of the fundamentals of money, how it works. I go into why I invest in things like Bitcoin and gold. I kind of go into the reasons behind my sort of investment strategies, and how in today's world, you know, there's some certain things you have to realize. Things like the debt situation, things like realizing all the Western nations are heavily in debt, you know, so that's very important. You know, realizing that the stock market, in my opinion, is way overbought. Now keep in mind, this is not investing advice. I am not a professional investment person or anything like that, but I do think it's important to share these things with people and to teach them. And I get a lot of questions. I get emails and Facebook messages and all sorts of stuff about Bitcoin and how to store Bitcoin, what Bitcoin's all about. I get questions about Ethereum, how to store Ethereum and things like that. And this video actually, for only 10 bucks, you know, it has a lot of information in it on my current investment strategy, how I store my Bitcoin, how to take care of it, and everything else, right? Because, you know, with things like Bitcoin, you know, it's actually very important that you learn how to store it properly, or else it'll get stolen, you know. And same thing goes with gold and silver. You know, a lot of people don't know how to buy physical silver and gold. You know, where should they buy it from? You know, what kind of people can they trust? Where to find out more information on it? Should they have someone store it for them, or should they keep it, you know, for themselves? Things like this. So I'll give you kind of a sneak peek right here. So my current investment strategy is basically gold, silver, Bitcoin, and then I use a little bit of my portfolio to do swing trading, which is like option trading, so like shorting the market or something like that, right? Typically a swing trade should be only a small percentage, like less than 5%, like if your total portfolio should be in any specific swing trade, you know, because you could lose money, right? So that's important to do. I'll just go over the major investments that I think that you should be doing. So the first one I would say is gold and silver, okay? Gold and silver. Now these are the safest. Now the reasons why they're the safest is because they have the most history behind them. Gold and silver have been money since the dawn of man. And those are the safest in today's climates, okay? I think the prices of these are going to skyrocket compared to dollars and all fiat currencies, which are just paper currencies backed by nothing. So I think gold and silver are your safest bet. If you're worried about things like Bitcoin or more like risky investments, I would say gold and silver all day, every day. That's your number one go-to if you're not sure what to do and you're kind of scared about today's financial situation. Gold and silver. Specifically physical, okay? So like gold and silver that you can touch, right? And you keep on your persons. There's also a good company that I go over in the video, goldmoney.com, and they'll actually store gold for you. And it's insured by Brinks. It's insured by Brinks, so I don't think it's very risky. And I trust the company and the CEO and like the people that run it. And I think it's a very good company. But I would definitely say the safest is gold and silver. And silver is a better buy. If you're going to buy gold or silver, buy silver right now, because silver is a better buy at its historical averages compared to gold. So really the best, safest asset I would say that you could buy right now is physical silver. And I would just buy the 1 ounce coins. You can just go to goldsilver.com and buy like 1 ounce coins. I think silver right now is around $20 an ounce. And I like goldsilver.com. You know, they're a good place. But that's the safest thing you can do, okay? I also invest in Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it's Bitcoin and Ethereum, okay? Now these are more abstract. If you're struggle with computers and stuff, you might struggle more with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Most people would argue it's more risky. You should put a small amount of your portfolio in it. But the thing is, if you only put a small amount into Bitcoin or Ethereum, they can still get massive returns, right? Now, I buy a lot more Bitcoin than most people would recommend, but I think it's a game-changing technology. Bitcoin, I think, is a complete game changer on planet Earth, basically. It's decentralized. It has basically the best properties of money that have ever existed if you really look at the technology. And I think it's very, very transformative, and I think it's early days, and it's like investing in the internet companies in the early 90s. It's almost like if you could own a bit of the internet, and as the internet got bigger, your investment got bigger because you owned a piece of the internet. Bitcoin is like the internet of money, right? And I think it's still early days, and there's a lot of room to grow. The next couple of years, I think, will be huge for Bitcoin. Ethereum, I think, is more risky. It's a little more esoteric than Bitcoin. It's more programmable, but it's a similar technology using blockchain technology. But I invest in both. I do about 80% Bitcoin, 20% Ethereum, which kind of roughly mimics the market caps comparatively of like all the cryptocurrencies. Okay. So these are more risky. Most people would argue. I think that the Bitcoin is a huge opportunity. You have to learn how to store Bitcoin. It's easier to store gold and silver on your persons. Bitcoin, you have to take the time to really learn how to keep it safe. I recommend a Trezor hardware wallet. Okay, and I use Coinbase to buy my Bitcoin. Okay, and like I said, the video that I'll link down below that you can buy for $10 will tell you how I store my Bitcoin, where I buy it, and everything like that. And it'll have links to all these websites and stuff. Same with gold and silver. So you can also do gold, silver mining stocks. I personally don't have any mining stocks right now. I thought about it, but I rather just hold physical. You know what I mean? But mining stocks have more potential return. Here, let's write this better. Mining stocks. Here we go. Okay, so mining stocks are basically just like, you own shares in a stock like Apple, and then there's companies that mine gold and silver, and you can buy shares of those companies. And so typically as gold and silver go up, mining stocks tend to go up, but you can get better returns, right? Because it's like they're more volatile, but they're higher leveraged in a sense, right? So if gold and silver go up and you own physical, you make some money. But if you own some mining stocks and those go up, you're going to make more bang for your buck. Mining stocks are a little bit more risky because if the Forex markets collapse, this just represents, shares, right? And if the company or someone you own shares with, or there's like a dollar or run on like the dollar, or there's a collapse, you won't be able to get your money out of it very quickly. I think they're a little risky. I prefer physical gold and silver, but mining stocks are also good. Okay. And then I use a small percentage for options trading. Now, options are a little bit more complicated. I get my options trading information from dollarvigilante.com, and I own a subscription to their premium membership. And they'll kind of tell you what options trades they're doing. So options are just a way to kind of limit risk. They're not like futures trading. Futures trading is more risky, where if you get if you guess wrong and it keeps going the opposite direction, you can lose a ton of money. Options are safer because you can do stops, what are called stops. And so even if you guess wrong and the price hits a certain point, it'll get stopped out basically, and you won't lose any more money beyond that point or whatever. Okay, so it's a little complicated. You can look into options trading and stuff like that. I personally don't really have the time or the interest to learn actually the science of reading charts and do day trading with options like a lot of people do. So I just found people that I respect and I pay them money. The dollarvigilante.com, they have like an analyst that they give you recommendations to do options trading. I just pay attention to them, and then I kind of calculate in my mind if I think it's worth it or not, just reading news and stuff, and then I do some of that. But I don't really know much about options, and I don't really know how to read markets or do technical analysis or anything like that. And most people, I would consider most of this is gambling. This is much more of a gamble than any of these. Gold and silver are the safest, probably along with mining stocks. Bitcoin and Ethereum, I personally think they're pretty safe because if you really understand the technology, it's basically impossible to hack Bitcoin. But there's always a chance the government will make Bitcoin illegal or something like that, but there's a good chance that might happen. But there's also a good chance that they might try to make physical gold illegal, like they did like in the 40s, right? When they said the government told everyone you have to give us your gold. You know what I mean? But options trading is the most risky because it's like a little bit of form of gambling. If you do it right, you can make like educated guesses, and you can do it in such a way where you minimize your risk, and there's a high risk reward, and sometimes it's worth it. So for instance, on my options trades right now, I have some shorts on the market because I think the market will go down after the election, and I also think that Deutsche Bank will continue to go down. So I have you know, some things that are betting, some options that are betting Deutsche Bank will go down, okay? But that's basically my major thing. I know it's very different than what most people recommend. Most people say, you know, you should invest your money into mutual funds or bonds or stuff like that. And though I believe those have been really good. Have you invested in mutual funds since the 40s? I mean, not since the 40s, since like the 70s. For the last 40 years is what I meant. You know, you make good returns and everything like that. I am just terrified of the situation the global markets are in. There is the most debt by far there's ever existed, and I think that we're truly at the precipice of a global sort of transfer of wealth into real assets and things like Bitcoin. And I think that in every crisis there's an opportunity, right? And that if you take some of your assets and move it to these things, you can you can at least protect some of your wealth. And if you're watching this and you have a lot of money like in mutual funds or 401k, just consider taking a small, I implore you to just take a small amount if you can afford it and put some things into, some of your money into things like this. Because then at least you're, you're kind of hedged. It's important to hedge your bets, okay? So I think that's about it for this video. Like I said, I'll have the link down below. It's only $10. I'll have a video on, some of these concepts, the things that I do, where I buy my Bitcoin, how I store it, where I buy my gold and silver, everything like that. I'll kind of go a little bit more into depth about Bitcoin and stuff and why I believe such an important technology. But, keep an open mind about these things. There's a lot of resources on the internet where you can learn about the history of gold and silver as money. You can learn about the Federal Reserve. You learn about the debt situation all these governments are in, all the banks are in. You can learn how it's all manipulated. And I think we're at a time of great truth, and a lot of these systems are going to collapse as they get replaced with better ones. And I think one of these things is even like things like Bitcoin. I think that represents, the new wave of financial technology that will really change life on planet Earth. Because sound money is so important, you guys. If America had a sound money this whole time, we'd be so far advanced compared to where we are now. Inflation steals the wealth of the people, and it's a hidden inflation. Hidden inflation is a tax on the poor. It's horrible for the economy. It reduces, it makes more friction in the marketplace. It's terrible, right? And these sort of technologies like Bitcoin and even things like gold money, where you can use a gold debit card, are going to be very important in the future, I think. So yeah, different than what most people recommend, but the nutrition programs I put on people are different than what people recommend too. And I think that it's important to save your money and try to protect it in these dangerous times. So that's it. I'll have a link down below to the video you can buy. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.